couldn't find a bar spoon, so. Okay, guys, we are officially late, so that means I can start because I can't really start and we can run late. Being a person of Caribbean descent, we always like to have our brilliant time to start off our session. So I think it's like 2 minutes late. Excellent. So today's session is a little bit about reverse psychology. It's about actually telling you what to do if you want to fail.
Who are you again?
I'm sorry, I'm gonna get it.
I mean, Ian, you totally have okay.
Who let the nurse inside the house?
Household.
Yeah. So today's session will be about. It's a fun session. It's actually like one of the TV shows where the presenter just sits down and we just watch videos, which is what the session is going to be today. Nice and easy, and a little bit of rum to throw in the mix as well. But again, thank you for actually being here because I know a lot of you had a big night last night. And yeah, very big. I know when I left, I think like 3 o'clock, there were still people there partying and drinking. So I applaud you guys for being here again. And thank you for welcoming me, Ian Burrell. If you don't know who I am, I'm just some guy that likes rum. That's it. That's an answer to your question. Okay, cool. Right, excellent. So, oh yeah, that's it. Put the wrong picture on. So, is there any Appleton sponsors here or anyone from Campari? Yeah, I should change my slides up and take them out. So, so as a rum ambassador, some people say, so what exactly is a rum ambassador or a global rum ambassador? Oh, one's here. Oh, you're late. Yeah, I'm making time.
No, I'm not late.
What exactly is a global rum ambassador? So what I do, I travel around the world. Very fortunate to actually get to work with many bartenders on sharing knowledge about rum. I've been in the rum industry or the industry for about 25 years as such. I know, baby face, yeah, I know. But one of the things I really love is to actually sit down and judge cocktail competitions. And I'm very fortunate that some companies are crazy enough to hire me to judge events like World Class and judging legacy finals, the Grand Prix in Cuba, with an Angostora's cocktail competition. Remember Phil out there partying? Yeah. Angostura finals in Trinidad, Diplomatico in Venezuela. So I see that as a privilege because I've got a front row with some of the best bartenders in the world. And it's just amazing because first of all, the drinks are free, which is so important. But secondly, I'm actually learning new techniques, new drinks that I incorporate into my sessions when I do my 2-minute guest bartending shifts around the world. So I feel very privileged and honored to actually be a judge in a lot of these competitions. But when I'm watching these competitions, there are certain things that happen. I'm saying to myself, did this guy really want to win? did they actually turn up to lose? Because there are little tiny things that we can all avoid. There's certain mistakes that happen we can all avoid if we either did things like read the rules, understood a little bit more about the brand, maybe practice in front of our friends as well to get those nerves away. So what I wanted to do is just show you a couple of things that I've seen or I've incorporated throughout the 4, 5, 6 decades, seems like it, of judging cocktail competitions. And so the question I want to ask you is, guys, why do we enter cocktail competitions? Is anyone that's entered cocktails recently? You have? So, would you enter? Who's that?
No.
Oh, we know that. That's Brenda Terry.
Oh, it's Brenda. That's lucky. Oh,
Yeah.
Hey, that was lucky.
She's amazing.
Oh, she's amazing. Okay, so why do you think Brenda entered the cocktail competition? Why do you reckon Brenda might have made enter cocktail?
No, just break it down.
Oh, you don't know? Well,
No, I know her.
maybe she entered to make the best cocktail possible. Some bartenders will do that. Maybe test your cocktails. Maybe test your cocktails against your peers. Maybe you make a drink inside the bar and you test out the other bartenders and come into your bar. And maybe you want to do that. Maybe it's try your recipe on a bigger stage. Yeah. Win a cocktail competition, and then you enter into like the national finals, the world finals. Maybe it's to win fame, success. Fame, success, and money.
Who's that guy?
I don't know, but he's got
I
a
like
pose.
Charleston.
He's got a pose. He's got a pose. That's where finals are built that part. So yeah, maybe you might want to win fame, success, and loads of money and things like that. Maybe you went to competition because of that. Just like the actual reigning world-class winner, Jennifer Leniche. Sorry, my French is really bad. It's nearly as bad as my American, but at least I don't have an accent, like you guys. So it might be like Jennifer. It might be like the legacy winner this year. Very fortunate to judge this guy here, Jin, from Angel Share in New York. Amazing,
That was
amazing.
his first competition ever.
First competition, yeah, and won. Went all the way to the top and won the final. It might be this year's winner, the local guy from Angostura. Won a check for $10,000, as well as being the reigning Angostura Global Cocktail Champion for the next 2 years, because they have that competition every 2 years. It might be like Juicy Lucy, who wins my competition every year. I don't know why she wins, but she's won for the last 4 years, and she'll probably win next year.
What's this competition here?
It's called the Ian Burrell Cocktail Competition, and I'm here in judge.
Somebody wants to take her out.
So if anyone wants to compete against her in 2017, good luck. Throw it. So all of those guys at one competition had one thing in common: they never ever listened to this presentation, which is important if you do want to win. But if you don't want to win, then please pay attention. Pay attention. But a word from our sponsors. By the way, if anyone speaks German, got subtitles there.
Another song of praise. Yeah. You know,
From just north of the equator, along the 18th parallel, is terroir unlike anywhere else on earth,
in this time when I look back at this,
where the limestone karst gives birth to springs of crystal blue. A place where morning sunshine and afternoon rains bless the rich red dirt so that it gives rise to endless fields of sugarcane.
See, life is for you and me and for
We cut it,
the story goes on and on and on and on
and press it, and cook it
just to say,
until it becomes the finest molasses,
I express myself this way.
blended with the mineral-rich waters of the karst, distilled in small batch copper pot and column stills to make young, raw rum. We barrel this tempestuous daughter of sun and rain in aged oak, and we wait, and we wait, and we wait, until the blender's hands say it has earned the right to be called the pride of Jamaica. This is Appleton Estate aged rum.
What all people have to want to say, what I do, my friend.
From Jamaica, with love.
So, yeah, that's our sponsors. That's some of the rums you have in here. I'm actually going to try to incorporate a quick tasting in the middle of this presentation. So it's actually 1.5 presentations at once. So, the first rum, which will be the one on your left hand. Yeah, that's the left hand. Number one. Normally, with this rum, we'd normally taste this in a cocktail. Or a simple cocktail. It might be a simple serve, a highball, like a mule, Jamaican mule, with ginger beer, fresh lime, dash of bitters. One of the reasons why is this is like the baby of the Appleton Estate. This is a signature blend. It used to be called VX, and some of you know old school stuff. A blend of rums, age. Some of them are aged up to 4 years, an average age of 4 years, so about 6. Youngest about 2, oldest about 6, average age about 4. But they don't use an age statement on this particular rum. Now, one of the reasons why I say sometimes they taste this rum in a cocktail is because some people find rum harsh when they taste the spirit. You guys are professional drinkers, so I'm sure you know that this is not harsh for you, especially you guys are whiskey guys. So I like to take a nose and take a sip, take a nose of some of that orange peel note, a bit of caramel, some touch of coffee and chocolate. Beautiful tasting rum. But again, for me, one of the best foundations of certain styles of cocktails. And that's the beauty of the rum category. You have your Puerto Rican style rums, you have your Cuban style rums, you have your Guatemalan rums, were much more sweeter. Or with Appleton, no sugar's added, a touch of caramel is added just for consistency of colour. Because by Jamaican law, you're not allowed to add sugar and things like that to your rums. And then that's it. It's a blend of hot and column still rum, so heavy and light rums. And that's a Jamaican style. So I like to use this rum in certain drinks like Mai Tais and mules and drinks where I'm going to get a really deadly flavour of rum. So that's the signature blend. That's a sponsorship pop. Sound like an ambassador. So back to losing the cocktail competition. So if you did something like this, I can guarantee you're guaranteed to lose. So if you do want to lose, please bring a little gun and bring some real drugs. And when you're making your Breaking Bad cocktail, you can even do things like make a cocktail naked. Guaranteed. Phil, you've judged many cocktails.
These actual submissions.
Yeah, these are actual submissions.
No. Is that Juicy Lucy?
How did you're about to make them. So if you want to lose, turn up and take off your clothes and make your cocktails in the nude. Some judges might give you extra points. I'm not sure. Some might not. When you prepare for a cocktail competition, please don't take drugs unless you want to lose. Then take loads of drugs. Yeah, turn up to competitions looking like this dude, and you're guaranteed to lose. Yeah, so it's about preparing. So I've got a couple of rules. I've actually only got about 7 rules that I've got. There's a lot more, but I'm only going to do 7 today because of time. So 7 rules of how to lose a cocktail competition or how not to win. First rule: disrespect the brand. Yeah, disrespect the brand. If you want to lose, disrespect it. Now, some people say, why would you want to disrespect a brand? You enter the competition, it's sponsored by, let's say, Appleton. Why would you want to disrespect it? Well, here's a video of a guy that was in the competition. Okay, Martin, so you have 5 minutes to make your Mexico cocktail.
Hello everybody, my name is Martin Cade. I'm the owner of Smuggler's Cove here in San Francisco. We're very proud of our extensive rum collection and our extensive rum knowledge. And I'm here to make something for the Diplomatico World Finals. We have a very special drink that we've come up with and made with beautiful Diplomatico Reserva Exclusiva. And I've got a gorgeous cocktail, sophisticated, stirred, and elegant design to showcase the beauty of Diplomatico. So we start off with just about an ounce of Batavia rack to give it just a really pretty floral note right in there. And then we'll do a little hint of just about ounce, maybe ounce and a half Fernet, because it just loves that beautiful botanical aroma, so complementary to the delicious warm flavors of Diplomatico. Of course, a little scotch so we can have a little bit of honeyed magic. Oh, that's just, it smells fabulous. And for a little color, a little vibrancy, and a little tartness, of course, we'll try a little, just a touch of Campari, just about half an ounce in there. Isn't that? That's beautiful. And then, can't have a great cocktail without some Angostura bitters, so I'm reminded of the time I first enjoyed Diplomatico. I think it was on a trip to Venezuela, and I really appreciated the magic of this fine product and these beautiful people. And of course, what great Diplomatico cocktail would be incomplete without some Diplomatico Reserva Exclusiva. Let's get a little in there. Excellent, just perfect. So we're going to stir this nice and cold, just the right level of dilution to just allow the Diplomatico to just sing in this drink. Absolutely. Strain it into our chilled coupe. Beautiful. And just for a finishing touch, to add some beautiful aromatic notes to it, just a little mist of mezcal over it, just a hint here, just a little elegant touch. And I want the judges to have the whole experience as well, so I just want to make sure that you're really there and it's really there. Enjoy that. So that, my friends, is called the Magic of Venezuela. That's what we've named this drink. Enjoy. Really smell the Venezuelan terroir.
was judging that competition, that would definitely do well, yeah? As a diplomatic competition. So if you want to lose competition.
It is everything right.
Exactly. Disrespect the brand. Remember, you don't need to showcase the spirit, that particular spirit in your cocktail. So, just to sum up that part. So whoever's sponsoring the cocktail, forget about them. They don't need to be any more promotion. They already promoted the actual competition itself. So again, just use what you want. So next rum, middle rum. I was going to save this one to last one because this one is actually one of my favorites of the Appleton range. So this one is the rare blend. This is actually a blend of 20 different rums. The master blender, Joyce Spence, she's a first female master blender in the spirits industry, and also obviously the first rum industry. Started off in 1996. And what she does, she selects certain rums to create this particular blend. One important thing when we talk about Jamaican rums as well as Appleton is the age statement. On there it says rare blend 12. This means the youngest rum in the blend is 12. That's law in Jamaica. They don't do Solera blending or average aging. So it's not a blend of young rums and older rums. So you put the oldest age statement on the label. They can only use the youngest in Jamaica. So when you see a 12 on there, the youngest rum in there is 12. In fact, there are rums in there that are up to 18 years old inside that particular blend, but they can't put 18 on the label because again, that's against the law in Jamaica. Nose-wise, it's 43% alcohol or 86 proof, as you guys say over here. I get that big coffee note, orange peel, mocha, lots of them. Beautiful flavors inside here. Tasting wise.
Where do you guys get your barrels? Where do you get your barrels?
The barrels come predominantly from Jack Daniels. Yeah, they use bourbon casks or Tennessee sipping whiskey casks. We have our bourbon guys over here like, it's not bourbon! So once used, Jack Daniels casks, they like to use what they call fresh filled or first filled. So the bourbons come out or the whiskeys come out, they get dismantled, sent over to Jamaica, and they char the inside, but they don't do what like some companies would do, will buy barrels from Scotland or Ireland, where the barrels have gone from America to Scotland and then to the Caribbean. Those are much more seasoned and older. They won't give as much wood. The Jamaicans want a little bit more wood inside it because Jamaicans, we love a bit of wood. Sorry, I have to try. I slip into Jamaican every now and again, but Brad will translate for you. So they like a little bit more wood character introducing to their rums. They use what we call first fill or fresh fill casks, mainly from Jack Daniels. Ooh, right. Rule number 2, as we sip our rum. Waste time. I said at the start about people not looking at the rules. You'd be surprised how many bartenders will come up to the judge or even come up to the organizers just before they're about to make the drink, say, how long do we actually have to make our drinks? And can we do preparation before the drinks, or is it part of the 5 or 7 minutes? Now, every competition I know, they get sent to you beforehand. So read the rules, study them, understand them. I mean, don't be like...
Okay, lady B, you have 5 minutes to make your cocktail. Starting from
Okay, my name is BartendBetterNow. I'm from Netherlands and I'm representing my country. I start my cocktail, it's called the Brave Heart. Okay, I will start to have my own. I always bring my water. Yes, I'm in cocktail competition. It's my turn now. Listen. Please, Mama, I'm calling later. Okay, I'll bring it home with me. Okay, Mom. Bye.
Any major play?
Yes.
Oh,
So?
Hey, can you tell me anything about the drink?
Yes, I will. Just a minute, I need to know. It's most important to clean your equipment, you know? the break part.
Right. All of the food.
Yeah. I'm professional bartender.
Right.
So, you like the tea?
Yeah. I'd really like to drink. Get to taste it.
2 minutes. Okay.
Just to let you know, you only have 1 minute left to make a drink.
Okay. Can I make longer?
No.
Why? I can make it quick. Please, I have just few. Okay?
So remember, if they say you can prep your cocktail before, they say prep it, get it ready, put them out in little tiny vessels, don't display the other bottles inside it. Have it ready before your time, unless you want to lose, so just cram it all in. Another thing as well with time, and Brian. Rob, sorry, Rob. I always get his name wrong. Brian. He'll be able to empathize with this. If you're in a mixology or concoctology competition, don't worry.
Casey, you got 5 minutes to make your cocktail.
Right. Set the glass, full glass, just wide, nice weight to it. Really good. And this, I'm gonna add avocado. Good, huh?
This is basically
You do know you only got 30 seconds left for your cocktail.
What?
Yeah. What's that?
Huh? It's a Coke essence with a rum, white, thingamajig.
It's a Cuba Libre.
What?
It's a Cuba Libre.
What's a Cuba Libre?
not all flair bartenders know what Cuba Libre is. That's not true. Read the rules, study the rules, because time, you will lose a lot of points. You will lose a lot of points just by going 10 seconds over, and that could be the difference between you taking home the big check or not taking home the check. So practice with your mates, practice with your friends, practice with your spouse, practice in front of your dog. I can't believe you brought this in here.
I'm sorry, dude.
That's right. Anyway, so rule number 3. If you want to lose, because a lot of bartenders, rightly so, bring their own tools, their equipment to cocktail competitions because you want to feel comfortable. I even know a lot of bartenders that bring their own ice as well. They don't trust the ice inside the bar when they're doing a competition. So bring your own tools, but make sure you check the tools when you compete. Very important.
Okay, Dinos, you ready? Ready. Yeah. Okay, so you have 5 minutes to make your legacy cocktail, and starting from now.
Hi guys, welcome. This is my bar called Lost and Found in Nicosia.
Yeah.
Very nice place.
Yeah.
Today, as you know, I'm gonna present to you my legacy cocktail. First of all, we need to chill the glass. This drink is called Lost and Found. Yeah?
Same as the bar.
It's very difficult to think of the name. Okay, we start with Bacardi. Initial juice. Fresh lime. And one ingredient that I cannot tell you. What is it, yeah? It's my secret. And we need to shake this really hard and double strain. And it claps. I can explain, sometimes when we clean the shakers, we just put some napkins here to absorb the moisture, but I still can deliver the drink, yeah?
Somebody rubs it on the side.
Thank you. This is Lost and Found, my legacy.
So to check your equipment, so if you have any rituals inside the bar, like napkins inside the shakers, I don't know what make sure you look over your tools. Make sure that the Angostura, this is the true story, Angostura cocktail competition. The guy bought his own special Angostura bottle, went to put 2 dashes, whole thing came out. It was, I think he created the swizzle. 50 mils came out before he realized that it wasn't a couple of dashes. So check your equipment before you enter and compete in the competition. Unless you want to lose, then forget about it. Forget about it. So the last rum that we're tasting is the big boy or the big girl, the 21-year-old. Whoa. Remember, Jamaican rum, Appleton rum, youngest rum in the blend, 21 years. What's the date today?
December 2nd.
Second. Oh shit.
2016.
Can anyone remember what they were doing on the 2nd of December in 1995? Yeah, you weren't even born.
Watching the Mighty Ducks.
21 years ago, wow. Yeah, I can't remember what I was doing there. I was probably drinking and peeing, so whatever. But that's how long the master blender has to wait before her rum is ready to go into this blend. And that's just the youngest rum in that blend, 21 years. And the other thing to take into consideration is rums aged in the Caribbean have what we call tropical aging. Because of the heat, the intensity, it's evaporating at a faster rate than, say, whiskey in Scotland or cognac in France. In fact, in Jamaica, they're losing 6% a year through what they call the Duppy share or the Angel share in Scotland. Scotland's about 2 to 3%. So rums in Jamaica are aging 2 to 3 times faster than a whiskey in Scotland. So a 21-year-old is equivalent to like the maturity of like a 60-year-old Scotch.
So what's the oldest rum that's in there?
Oldest rum in that blend is anywhere up to about 24 years old. 24 years. What will happen is the blender will have certain barrels, maybe a bit too woody, or maybe it's not good enough to sell or use by itself. So they use it as a concentrate. use it as a concentrate. You add that with some of the younger rums just to give the depth of flavor. Yeah? And that's what she does when they're tasting and putting the rums together. So 21. I get a lot more of the wood notes in there, 43%, so 86 proof. More of the intensity of the chocolate and the mocha and all sorts of boiled candy as well. For me, it's just an amazing sipping spirit. But I'm just biased. Well, I don't work for Apple, remember that. So I can be biased. I'm a Jamaican. Oh, that's orgasmic. So, back to rule number 4. We're nearly there, halfway there. Disrespect the judges. Now, I was having a conversation outside with a few of the bartenders there, talking about certain judges that judge cocktail competitions, how some of them maybe not qualified enough, or there's a beef between the judge and the competitor as such. I don't know if this is true, but that's what I've heard. So sometimes bartenders enter competitions and they compete and they say, well, I didn't really get a fair crack of the whip. And but what you shouldn't do, even if you do feel you're not getting a fair crack of the whip, is disrespect the judges. Because this guy here, does anyone know Salvatore Calabrese? Yeah, Salvatore, the maestro. Yeah, the maestro. Inspector Clouseau look-alike. He, one of my favorite people in the industry. But I remember a cocktail competition where this guy didn't really know who Salvatore was. Never heard of him. It was his first competition. And he didn't know that Salvatore created a classic cocktail called the Breakfast Martini. Yeah. 1 or 4 ounces of gin, 3 ounces of Cointreau, lemon juice marmalade, which gives it that whole breakfast thing. Maybe a bit of toast as a garnish. You guys call it toast, though? Oh, yeah, cool. Excellent. I know you guys have different words. Like you guys call meatballs faggots, don't you? In England.
What?
Yes, meatballs in England.
What?
Yeah, we do. And also pavement and sidewalk. Pavement and sidewalk. Yeah, it's different. We call it pavement, you guys call it sidewalks. Yeah. Cigarettes. What? No, cigarettes, we call it cigarettes in England. But you get where I'm going. It's crazy, but this is language. Remember, you guys speak American, we speak English. So anyway, the brunch martini was the cocktail that this guy created. And as you can see, wasn't much difference. Just half a teaspoon of marmalade. Yeah. But he didn't realize, Grand Marnier if you're Campari guys over here, because you guys just acquired it. Yeah, is that cool? Okay, so Grand Marnier instead of Cointreau. Salvatore was.
Hi, how you doing?
I'm fine. How are you, sir?
Welcome to my place.
Oh, thank you.
Okay, you should be an honor to be here, man.
I know. It's
Yeah.
a beautiful looking bar. Beautiful looking bar.
So what are you going to do for me?
Right, so I'm going to make you this new cocktail that was inspired by my girlfriend. And it's something that she created herself, but I thought I'd just use components of all the ingredients that I knew I had in my back bar. So it's called the Brunch Martini.
Oh wow, great name.
Yeah, beautiful name, because I don't really eat brunch that much. And she said to me, Ian, why don't you eat brunch? And I'm like, well, you know what, I'm just too busy, I can't, and I need to go to work and make cocktails. So she said, well, why don't you like to make cocktails, why don't you do a cocktail based on the brunch? And I said, oh, perfect. So I picked simple ingredients, like some marmalade.
Marmalade?
Yeah, some marmalade. Some English marmalade, because I went to English brunch because we're in England. British born, even though I had Jamaican descent. Some fresh lemon juice as well. Also want to do some Cointreau because I wanted to bring out some of the orange notes of the marmalade inside there. And of course gin, because we're doing a martini. I was going to use vodka, but I'm not a big vodka fan, so I just thought I'd use gin to really bring the flavors and bind them together. So that's the brunch martini I'm going to make for you today in this competition.
Do you know my name? You know who I am, no?
Peter, you ready? They said your name's Peter.
Don't you know these? These are created 20 years ago before you were bloody born. Mama, found good with this shame. Make me more nervous. Mama, what day to give you a competition over.
I don't actually speak much Italian, so I didn't know what he was saying. But
It's all good.
I think he said it was all good. I thought you were saying yeah, you're going to be in the next round of the competition with a great drink. So if you want to lose a competition, steal someone else's recipe. Yeah.
All right, so tell me what we've got here.
Hi, my name's Steve. How are you?
Steve, how are you?
Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you. My cocktail, I'm going to make a little twist on the made in Cuba. Instead of absinthe, I'm going to add a little bit of smoked blue curacao.
Ooh, nice. You've done your research, I see.
Yeah. So there's a couple cucumbers, of course. There's some mint.
Cool.
Fresh lime juice. Simple syrup. Of course, Bacardi Heritage. 44.5% alcohol, Cuban style. And of course, our smoked blue curacao. Just to add a lot of flavor, a lot of accentuating flavors, and a lot of depth, and a lot of body as well.
Great color.
Ice on here. Have our pre-chilled cocktail glass for you.
Fantastic. Beautifully chilled.
And finish it up. Just a splash of soda.
Nice.
Garnish it with the cucumber.
Looks amazing.
I hope you enjoy.
Much. Hang on, just quickly for my Instagram followers. Looks good. What did you smoke this with?
What did I smoke the blue curacao with? Oh, bacon.
Bacon? I can't have bacon. What? I thought you did your research. I'm vegetarian.
Oh, I did.
That's the worst drink I've ever had. It's even worse than a made in Cuba. Disgusting. Yeah, you might need to make me something else.
I'm sorry. I didn't know. I'm sorry.
Make me something with vodka.
When you don't disrespect the judges, do your research on the judges. If you have someone like Philip Duff over here judging you, you know the type of drinks he wants. He wants classics. He wants an authentic story. Don't come with any bullshit, because he'll pick it out unless you want to lose. And you know, with me, just don't put vodka in my cocktail, unless it's an incredible cocktail drink as well. So do some research on the judges as well, because they're your customers. It's like them coming to your bar, and you have regular customers. You know what they drink. You know what turns them on when you're making the drink. So look at your judges as your customers and say, yeah, I'm going to make you the best drink you've ever had. And hopefully, around those a little bit, you might actually get through to the next round. So, brunch martini. So steal someone else's recipe. Another bartender's recipe, the judges, take it from the internet if you want to lose, all that type of stuff. And don't do any research on the judges. Rule number 5. Don't forget to put the actual sponsored spirit in the drink. Now, although it boils down to a lot of nerves, but if you want to lose, you can guarantee make a virgin cocktail and give that to the judge without putting the actual sponsored drink inside it. See if this works now. This guy here actually forgot.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Alex. I work at the Artisan Bar, which is the best bar in the world. I am the best bartender, and today I'm gonna be making very nice cocktail with my favorite rum, Rum de Jeremy. It's fantastic. So what we're gonna do? We're gonna start with some Becherovka from Czech Republic. My family has a very good business in Czech Republic. Recently we got a bit of trouble, but it's very nice Christmas spice. Falernum from Ian Burrell's family. Very nice, lovely. We need some citrus to balance it out. Oh my God, where I have it, fantastic here. So the citrus, yeah. Touch more of the falernum. And we're gonna throw it to aerate it first. because then I would like to shake it, and after that we're gonna swizzle it to enhance the notes of the cask. Fantastic. So we are ready here to throw it. Yeah, so it's all there. Now we're gonna shake it. Very important to get the dilution, the temperature right. I brought my own ice. So we have that there. Fantastic. I'm gonna send it to the glass, and because it's a Swizzler, obviously it needs to be served with a crushed ice. We're gonna garnish it with passion bitters, which is fantastic, very nice, perfect, and this is the garnish. Here we go, this is my Ron and Jeremy cocktail for the Ron and Jeremy cocktail competition 2009.
This is alligator for handbags, not for drinks. I'll try this.
Should have some bites. Well, I don't know if you have some bites.
Excuse me. Well, very tasty. For a virgin, there's no rum. Where's the Ron to Jeremy rum? There's no Ron to Jeremy rum in here. What is this?
Let's start again.
So basically, nerves. I know a lot of people get nervous, so maybe have a little shot of rum. Don't do it in front of the judges, just to calm those nerves. But make sure you put the product in to the drink. And there is a lot of bartenders who get nervous. That does happen. But did anyone else see any other things that if you want to lose a cocktail competition, that Alex, who is one of the best bartenders in the world, did? Any other things he saw? Grabbing ice in his hands. Yeah, you want to lose? That's right.
He did a shot.
Did a shot out of the jigger in front of the judges. Yeah. Anything else? They did. Hey, if you think you didn't do anything wrong, you're guaranteed to lose.
He double poured something.
He double poured.
Yeah.
The falernum, yeah, he put some more falernum in, just a touch. But maybe you want to adjust the cocktail.
He couldn't find
Couldn't find the citrus, but it wasn't his bar, so I'll give him that.
There's 3 different ways.
Yeah.
What was that?
So there are 3 different processes.
Exactly,
Yeah.
Sometimes some bartenders will overcomplicate their cocktail just to show off, just to show that they can do certain things. So yeah, throw it in, swizzle it, shake it, same drink, what for? Hey. But anyway, so don't forget to put the sponsor's cocktail inside there. Rule number 6, overcomplicate your drinks if you want to lose. Yeah, overcomplicate. Some of the best cocktails in the world are the simple ones. So you want to lose, overcomplicate them. And of course, yeah, drink a shot to calm your nerves. Preferably out the jigger and in front of the judges. Even better, outside the bottle. Even better, you want to lose outside the bottle. Yeah, get a whistle pick. In front of me, yeah. Am I going to win this? Yeah, it's naked. Yeah, exactly. So, that's me finished. That's me finished. So I want to wish all of you guys good luck in any cocktail competition you decide to enter in. But I do want to finish up with the king of the rums. We were going to give you samples of these, but I just don't trust you. Well, I might trust you later when I get to know you. But this here is the holy grail of rum. I mean, whoa, there you go. A lot of people ask me, what is the best rum in the world? And I actually say it's one of my glasses, the next one was a free one. Yeah, they're my 3 favorite rums. But if I had to drink one rum, I'd drink the rum that I drank first when I was 4 days old. It was
What show are you going for?
Yeah, my Jamaican parents, 4 days old. Had a little sip. And then we do things like pour a little bit on the floor, gets rid of the ghosts, the bad vibes, or the duppies, as we call them in Jamaica. Yeah, so if anyone has a haunted bar and you're losing product like spirits, you're going back and the stock's going down. It's because you probably didn't pour rum on the floor of your bar. That's where the duppies, it's not the bar backs, it's not the new bartenders drinking the products, it's the ghosts, it's the duppies inside your bar. So pour a bit of rum on the floor and it gets rid of all the bad vibes and bad energy. If anyone ever saw that film, Poltergeist, one where that little girl got taken by the TV, yeah, you know that they had vodka in the house and that's why she got taken by the ghost. If there was rum there, she'd have been at school next day talking about Justin Bieber or whatever kids talk about nowadays. So pour a bit of rum. If you open a new bar, pour a bit on the foundations. What happens in Jamaica, we pour a bit of the Ray Nephew on the foundations of a new bar or new house. In the four corners, gets rid of the ghosts or the bad vibes. But we also drink it as well. I'm going to use a plastic cup because it is 126 proof. I'm not going to do a shot because that's disrespectful. Oh, you guys want some? Oh, well, you guys are bartenders. See, I trust you now because you laughed at some of my jokes. So I'm going to give you the bottle.
Fair enough. That's a bad.
Why would you get a bottle of him?
Is that the worst person?
Is Rich in the room?
Is that the worst person? You can share to everyone. And again, thank you very much for not leaving and throwing things at me. And again, if I ever have the fortune to actually judge you in a cocktail competition, please don't do anything that these guys did because they were professionals. Let me just put the wave here because I know in America we have to put the waivers here. So warning: these were the actors inside these videos were professional alcoholics with bartending problems. And so don't do this at home. None of those things at home, and don't do it in front of me if I'm judging you in a competition. Cheers, thank you, and cheers. Oh, if you want any questions, please feel free to ask questions. But if you are going to ask questions now, don't ask questions tonight at 1:30 when I'm trying to get my Mac on. Come and ask me about fractional distillation, how many plates inside that column still, and what is the temperature of the yeast fermented at in the Guyanese wooden vats that they used before they wooden stills to make El Dorado and any other rum from Demerara. Please don't ask me that at 2 o'clock in the morning.
As a judge, do you
Yes.
ever try to actually drink that?
Great question. I personally don't, but I've worked with judges that do. I was judging the Havana Club Grand Prix competition with 3 other judges. There were 15 of us in sections. One particular judge purposely asked questions, irrelevant questions, to the bartender while they were making cocktails. And that was just basically, he felt it was a way to actually keep them on their toes, but he also wanted to try to create a natural environment. It's a bartender competition, how's it going to be natural? But yeah, he would ask them things like, so what's your favorite football team? What's your girlfriend or your wife's favorite underwear? Just things like that. That's what he would ask the actual bartenders while they're making the drink. So I know some judges that do, I personally don't. I know there's a lot of pressure on them already there. That's why they get the bartender shake as such. And because it's amazing how you see one bartender in front of you getting the shakes in front of 3 judges, where on a Saturday night they're rocking 300 people without even thinking, just banging out drinks without even thinking. So yeah, they do get nervous. So I don't want to add to that nerves. I want to try to make it as comfortable as possible. Unless you use vodka.
What are your thoughts on having blind judges as well as regular?
I think it's a great idea. I think the first time I experienced that was the guys agency, didn't they? Because the judges had to be blind with some of the drinks that were being sent out. They were terrible.
Shit, I thought we were friends.
No, I think it's a great. I think it's a good idea because naturally there will be some bias. There'll always be some sort of bias or prejudice against or for a particular person making a drink in front of you. And sometimes that can influence how you mark that particular score. Again, I was judging a world final in Moscow for a rum, and one of the judges did not like one of the 3 finalists. He just didn't like him, and I know because he posted some stuff on Facebook. But he was one of the judges there. So he was adamantly didn't want this particular drink to win. Unfortunately for him, he lost because the other 3 judges came around to my way of thinking, and the guy won at the end of the day. But if it was blind, he would have picked that drink. Definitely look at the drink as the best drink. So I think having blind judges there's definitely a call for it. Maybe they could do. I entered one competition. It's the only one I entered, and I won. Drinks International a few years back, and they had judges in front of us, but they also had a blind set of judges, and both points were put together. So although I lost points for being in front of the people because they said, "What the hell are you doing behind the bar?" The drink tasted good to the blind judges, and it amassed the most amount of points. So I think it's a great idea. Yes.
You said to do your research on the judges. you don't always know who they are.
That's very,
Ask.
that's very true. I would ask. A lot of I mean, maybe Phil can correct me. I don't think there's any company out there that will actually say, we're not going to tell you who the judges are. Now, I know some judges are calling last minute, and then it's about your knowledge of the industry. Maybe you're on your phone, you quickly look at what type of person they are. If they're a person like Jacob Briers in the Steve Snyder video, he's vegetarian. He loves fun, he likes blue curacao. So don't smoke your blue curacao with bacon and give that to a vegetarian. Again, that was based on a real competition I judged where the guy smoked his rum with bacon, and one of the judges was vegetarian and one was Muslim. This is no word of a lie. Yeah. And I had to taste the drink for the other two judges because they were like, oh, we can't taste it.
Then
But
how did they get that far when you know they can't present that drink to judges?
Or you turn that in and say, look, I just did a bacon fat washed
yeah, it's fat wash, yeah.
rum, and I turned that in. Why would you get a vegetarian or a
this is the
vegan
thing.
judge?
And I didn't know. I didn't know. In fact, he's quite a famous person within the spirits industry. I didn't know he was vegetarian at that particular time, and I didn't know the other judge. I'd never met him before. It was a local final in Germany, and the 16 bartenders were invited on a course as such, and they had a competition basically on that day. The day before. So he prepared stuff, but didn't actually say, oh, what if the judges are vegetarian? Or what if they might be Jewish or they might be Muslim? So I'm not gonna add any bacon to actually my particular rum. Or maybe I'll make two alternatives. Maybe smoke it with some wood, and then have the other version and say, right, okay, that's for you guys, because I'm thinking ahead. And that's
There's
for you.
also a burden on the judge, because you can excuse yourself. You don't get somebody down.
Yeah, you should do. There's certain things I don't like in drinks. I don't want to put it down. I'm trying to think, who's this made for? Is it balanced? I might not buy it, but I know it's a good drink. I've given very good scores to drinks I wouldn't buy, only because I know they work. So I don't think you should detriment, the judges shouldn't be a detriment to the actual quality of the drink if they wouldn't normally buy it as such. Sorry, question over here.
I was curious if there's ever a situation where you find yourself having to kind of overweight your score if you're in a situation where, and no offense to anybody here that works for brands, only brands and doesn't work. Sometimes I've had competitions where the brand ambassador or the rep is the judge.
Yeah.
And they are looking for the best display of their product.
100%, yeah.
Not the cocktail.
Yeah.
So do you ever find a situation where you have to overweight because it's kind of like you're tipping more for your shitty friends, not tipping enough, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Do you ever find yourself in that seesaw at all?
Yeah, constantly, because you have to remember, these guys that run these companies, that create these competitions, they're looking for products they can use for marketing. They want something that really displays their product. So sometimes you have to weigh that up when you actually decide on a particular drink. Sometimes it's not the best drink that wins the competition. It's the cocktail that used the sponsored ingredients in the best way. Using their portfolio is good. I've seen a lot of bartenders will overcomplicate drinks because they're trying to get the portfolio in there. This is another true story. So I'm judging a world-class competition down in Spain, and the bartenders using Zacapa as the base, because that was the only rum they had. Now he decides to flambe some pineapple. Now the reason why he's used pineapple, I'm thinking, is because the yeast that's used to create Zacapa is a pineapple strain of yeast. So he wanted to flambe some pineapple. So what did he use to flambe it? Instead of using Zacapa or rum, because naturally when you heat the rum, it's going to start to caramelize. The caramel inside there, because Zacapa has a bit of caramel in there, will actually caramelize the sugars of the pineapple and make a really nice, really beautiful tasting garnish. He used Kettle One. And I said to myself, okay, well, he's using Kettle One, but why? And it was funny because when he was pouring it, he looked at me and he says,
no, he knew.
He actually knew straight away. He was like, oh man. But the reason why he didn't, I asked him after, why did you use Kettle One instead of using the rum? Or even whiskey, using one of the whiskey in the portfolio. He said, well, I just want to use something else in the portfolio, and I find it hard to use Kettle One in certain drinks, so I use that to flame it. So in that situation there, it wasn't the best drink, he didn't win, but in that situation there, he tried to incorporate the portfolio. If Campari organised a competition, I'm sure they would love, if it's an active competition, they'd love someone to use Aperol or use one of the Piscos or using Campari itself inside there. Whether you're going to use something like Sagatiba inside the Appleton, I'm not sure the justification for that, but maybe there is one. So it is a tough situation with judges, but I would always try to say, when you're making this cocktail bartending, competition bartending is not real bartending. Yeah, it's not real bartending. It's like when you're taking your driving test, you have to exaggerate certain things. In England, we have a 10 to 12. Your hands have to be on the wheel, 10 to 12 all the time, until you make a mirror, signal, and then maneuver. And you're actually driving like this, like a robot. If you're driving like we normally drive, on the phone, one hand, and that type of stuff, or guys, if you're putting your lip seal on, yeah, look in the mirror at the same time and things like that. Yeah, I know you like to that. So if you're doing that in the test, you're gonna fail. Competition bartending is like that. Certain things have to be exaggerated. Even knowledge of the products. Yes, the judges have heard the information a million times. Key points about the product, just so that you know, you're showing the judge you know what you're using inside the drink. So I would add that into a presentation.
So being a judge for as long as you have, would it actually help if you're doing a competition and like say if it's Appleton, like have that brand on the bar and then all my other products like in cheater bottles?
Great point. We spoke about this yesterday. I like the fact that if it's an Appleton competition, whether it's a Bacardi competition, that the focus should be on that particular brand, not the modifiers.
So I can take my modifiers and put them in the cheater bottle?
I would never ever judge, I've never ever marked someone down for putting their measurements already measured out in other bottles, because the focus should be on, one, the sponsor brand, and two, the actual drink itself. So in the situation here with Martin Cates, I mean, the Diplomatico wasn't even there. Wasn't even there. It was the mezcal smoke. It was the Fernet Branca. It was the smoky malt whiskey as such. Now, that was an exaggerated version of something that actually happened, where the actual rum, he only used what's called an ounce of rum, and he used 5 ounces of other spirits in the cocktail. And it was they're all on the bar as well. So it looked like, you didn't even know, if you looked at it from a picture, you wouldn't know what the competition was. Right. So personally, I would not mark someone down if they had the bottom spirit, and then their vermouth maybe inside a nice little bottle or a little jug, and decanter it down.
That'll definitely help.
So Sean, it goes back to reading the rules.
Yeah, well, definitely. But I was just wondering, like, whether or not, like, I should like put my modifiers in the bar, or if it's going to help me to just put them in unlabeled pot. Like,
For Kettle One, when I did the local thing, I had these beautiful little tubes, and I filled them pre-measured out to make the drinks for everybody. So that took me off of shaking the part. I did it on the back, and all I really needed to do, labels out with it.
I mean, Bill, you've judged the competition. What would you mark someone down for? No, to decanter them? Okay.
It's brilliant you've done it, and also if you bring them along, we won't forget it.
Yes, that's
And
important.
one more time
That's
to
important.
talk to the judges, and I can look at you and talk to you while I do this and the word.
I have judged one competitor in the years where he actually batched his cocktail, and he spoke about it eloquently. And then when he came to actually do the drink, he took out the fridge 3 bottles and just gave it to us.
Did you mark him down?
I marked him down, hell yeah. I was like, it could have been someone else that made it. I didn't know it was him that made it. As such. Seriously, and I told him after, I said, did you make this? He says, yeah, I did. I'm like, yeah, but how do I know you made it? Yeah, good point, Ian. Like, that's why you didn't win it.
So if he had combined those things, chilled them, bottled it, and then handed it to you.
Well, he showed it to us. Showed us he was making the process
Right,
of
that
doing
would've
it.
been-
Or made one, or even better, make the actual drink and say, this drink actually tastes better if it's batched, bottled, left in the fridge, so when a customer comes in, it's bam. And here's...
Like a cooking show?
Yeah.
You make
Exactly. Alex. Exactly. You just described it exactly, because then it shows you can make the drink. You have made the drink. You thought about the process of putting it together. You've also explained why in your bar it tastes better batched, and why it tastes better coming out of the fridge inside a small bottle. And then you might say, well, your customers, you want to get quick sales, so you want to bang out those drinks really quickly, and maybe shaking and making the drinks will take a certain amount of time. But if I've already batched it, I can bang out 20 drinks and make 20 times as much as that same bartender. Some people might say that, some people disagree, and some people agree, but at least he or she has explained why they've done that. Not just giving us a bottle and said, right, there's my cocktail competition, there's my entry. And there's a legacy competition as well.
I think what we're sharing is like a lot of great practices and ideas that work, but I think that the point you hit on, what you touched on, whenever we judge an organized competition, it seems like the biggest learning curve for most bartenders starting out to compete is whether you have the best tasting ingredient, whether you showcase the sponsor the best or the best skills. it's judged on who scored the highest in each category. It's not just the best tasting cocktail.
There's a little bit of everything.
You can see how you score and realize how to score high in each of those categories.
Presentation, how the drink looks, how it smells, how it tastes, a knowledge of the product as well.
Do most ones that you judge like actually have? Do you have like scoring sheets?
Yes.
Like actual.
Scoring sheets and criteria, and they are given to the bartenders.
That should be part of like when you're asking your questions to the judge, you should ask for scoring sheet, because like Rob said, and I've judged competitions, which Rob judges a shit ton, is they're all scored differently, and different brands or different competitions all have different criteria.
That's right.
You might have a competition that scores on appearance and one that doesn't, one that scores on bartending skills and one that doesn't. And if you drop everything and they score on bartending skills.
I mean, not knocking the flair guys again.
I like that you provide those, because having lost competitions before, like I think it's so informative to like be able to get that scoring sheet to see where I fell short, so what I can improve on in the future.
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, not knocking the flair guys again. I actually was asked to judge a flair competition in Romania, and I was like, I used to flair back years ago, but not anymore. And looking at the criteria, the score sheets for taste was 10% of the overall score. Taste is 10% of the overall score. So again, if I didn't know the rules and I went in there, I'd be doing some amazing tasting drink, and I'll get 9 out of 10 maybe, and then for my moves, my tricks, and my catches, my spills, I'm going to be last. Because it's a different type of competition. So understand the rules, study the rules, and then ask the judges again.
I've heard a question often asked is like presentation.
Yes.
Like the idea of how you present the cocktail and the function of it. If it's scored on in a competition, the answer is often no. But I will say, would you sometimes see yourself in a position where the person, the way they hold themselves on stage, if the drink was drier than you might assume that they intended that? Would you give them the benefit of the doubt?
I'd give some of them the benefit of the doubt. I also ask the question. I mean, I'm a customer. I'll ask the question, and I mean, when I'm behind the bar, I always ask my customer if they are for a certain drink. If I have time, in front of me, do you want it drier, sweeter, medium? They never say medium, unless they think they're perfect as such. But no, the judge should be asking the same question to the bartenders and vice versa in the competition. I've made it particularly dry, but why did you make this particular dry? Was it because your market likes to have a dry palate? It's because you want to showcase this particular spirit, this particular modifier, or these particular bitters. So yeah, it should be a dialogue. Don't be frightened to talk to the judges. It's your one shot at that particular time. Yeah, or you can leave them. It's your one shot to win or get through to the next round, win that particular competition at that particular time. And as Rob said, it's a case of it's everything ticking all the boxes: your presentation, your drink, the glassware, how the cocktail smells, showcasing the actual spirit, humor, a little bit of knowledge. The knowledge part of the actual competition doesn't hold as much weight because they hear the same thing over and over again. But make a few key references when it's pertaining to your drink. So don't go to the whole, if you're in the Bacardi thing, don't talk about Facundo came over from Barcelona and he landed in 1840s and then they did charcoal filtration in 1862, and because you're like, God, I've heard that from the last 15 other guys at the end of the day. So pick certain points that help your drink go forward.
Might be a little late, just real quick. Did you ever see anybody, I mean, I can see how completely go against rules when you submit a recipe, and say, I know somebody else is sweet, this one is dry, and say, this is my recipe. You don't make this, and I do this, and do it. Just even to the...
No one's done it yet, but I guarantee if someone does that in a competition, I think they will get scored highly. Especially as if, because again, it's some of the rules. What was it? So the question was, if a bartender knew the 3 judges that were competing and they were making a recipe, if you made the same drink but slightly different for each judge, and I would love that. I would love that. If you understand, because then you say to the judge, I know your palate, you're like my regular customer, so you actually bringing the competition to your bar, to the real bar. Well, that's what we want as judges. We want to see you as the best bartender.
You can modify your competition.
You can moderate, but you can modify it, but using the same ingredient. Don't add another ingredient inside.
Right.
But tell the judges that, because on some competitions you actually have the spec of what the drink was that got there. But again, this is your one shot, so you want to say to the judge, listen, that's a spec. Well, I know you have a dry palate, I know you have a sweeter palate, so I'm going to adjust mine slightly just for you, because I want to make the best drink possible for you, my customers. as judges, we're like, wow, sounds a bit geeky, but we're like, whoa, that person's really done their research and their work as such. So I would do that. And I just want to quickly say is, and this is a risk. This is depending on how confident you are. If they say to you, you have 3 judges, and they say to you, you only need to make 2 cocktails, 1 to make for the judges, and 1 for photos. My camera guys there. If you can, make 1 each for each judge. Yeah. Just because the glassware that you've used, or the garnish that you've used, or whatever you've done to the particular cocktail to add to the particular drink, yeah, will be lost once that person's sharing that drink. Yeah. And even worse, sometimes you get these stupid judges. And I'm sorry if any of you guys do this as judges, but I think it's stupid. Sticking straws in drink and then sampling it from a straw. No. What's the worth of garnishing your drink with a beautiful aroma or some oils or some salt or some seasoning, and all of a sudden the judge sticks their straw inside there and tastes it and says, oh, it's not as good as what it is. Of course it's not, because you can't smell the whole essence of what the cocktail is. So if a judge does that, it's correct to take, can you just taste the drink from the glass? But if you can, make 1 each. Make 1 each. Just say, I know we're only supposed to make 1, but I want to make 1 for all of you because I want it to get to the best way possible, how I create it.
So that to make a cocktail for every judge, but then also make an extra to cheers with them. Is that going to count against you?
No, I wouldn't count against you. It just shows that you're a competent bartender who can make a lot of drinks in a short space of time. You got 5 minutes, you got 7 minutes to do your drink, 10 minutes in some competitions. If you can, then do that. Anything that's not a detriment to you, then yeah, do that.
In regards to showcasing your sponsors period, as a judge, how do you feel about modifying?
Ooh, great question. Now I've got, for me, I don't make alcohol yet. So if you're infusing or you're doing something to the actual spirit, then it's not a problem with me. I've heard a few distillers or blenders say, why are they modifying my product? But wait a minute, they're modifying it inside the cocktail anyway, aren't they? So I've never understood the argument from someone who actually makes alcohol and then says, oh, that person stuck a lemongrass inside my product. I made a lemongrass version of my rum as such. Well, maybe they wanted to try to they love your rum, but they just wanted to add lemongrass for that particular drink. I'm not saying your rum needs lemongrass. They're just saying your rum in this cocktail needs a little bit of infusion. Yeah, sorry, Beth, cut this quite quickly. I know the next guys want to come on.
I've seen
You did it.
Rob knows. I don't know if you saw it, in a gin competition where the particular product was created in that their vision was for it to be kind of low on the juniper.
Right.
And the person infused it with juniper. So that's like disrespectful.
Wow, yeah, that would be. That sounds like a Bombay competition, doesn't it?
No, it wasn't.
Okay.
But Ian, speaking about Bombay,
wow, yeah, that's probably a bit extreme what you're saying.
What are your thoughts on making mini cocktails when they're multi-layer flavor? I entered in a Bombay Most Imagine. I made cocktail sauce pearls with an oyster.
Yeah.
Then I made a gimlet, but they only took a sip because they couldn't eat the oyster because it was a full drink.
Right, okay.
What are your thoughts on me making the full drink and then making minis so they can get the multi-layer
I've seen people do mini versions of their drinks only because, they were...
Because they're only going to take a sip, they can't drink the whole thing.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. Again, explain that when you present it. Because once you've explained it, there's a justification for doing it. Right. You can't be marked down. I mean, just a little point for when if you're ever in front of me, I start everyone with maximum points. Yeah, as soon as you step in front of me, you're on maximum points. I mark down, I don't mark up.
Okay, fair enough.
I mark down. So when I see certain things, I'm like, oh, why did they do that? Or that doesn't taste right, or this doesn't taste right to me, and I mark down. But if you've done everything flawless, I can't take points away from you. So that's how I mark when I'm judging. I mark down as opposed to marking up.
Just send me an email on your palette, dude, everything.
And you have to get to the finals first. Last question, because I think we're getting kicked out.
Yeah.
But remember, you can get me outside, but not at 2 o'clock. Remember, 2 o'clock in the morning when I'm partying, hanging out.
This year I was in world class as well. My regional round and my dealer's choice was we had 3 cars to choose. One of my cocktails I chose was Kettle One, Spirits. What? So I'm like, how the hell do I make Kettle One flip and make it Spirits? Like, what is it? Flavor.
That's
so
a tough one.
I used the
What did you do?
I I used a half ounce of Grand Nephew.
Okay.
And Jeff Bell, when he scored me, he said that my drink was unbalanced and said, be careful when using overproof rum because it overshadows vodka. I'm like, of course it does.
Of course it does. Everything's good.
Yeah, so it's like, how do you
That's a good question.
And then, by the way, I did get us back to naturals because I made us a RDA.
Oh, brilliant.
I did before it's talking, so I could.
You were in a
There's a guy named Jamie MacDonald. He used to be a bar up in Scotland, great bartender, did a lot of work for World Class, especially after he'd won the UK finals about 3-4 years ago. He made a Kettle One cocktail where he used 1 bar spoon of, I can't remember which whiskey that Diageo have in World Class? Bullet. Scotch. So. Johnny Walker, and is there another one? Talisker. Use Talisker. So you use a bar spoon of that inside it. So naturally, it's a vodka cocktail. But when you smelt it, you smell Talisker, you smell whiskey, you smell a smoky Scotch on there. So in answer to your question, if that was, I haven't met Jeff, but if Jeff would judge in that competition, if he had said to Jamie, well, this smells too much like whiskey, like what are you supposed to do? It's a vodka drink. The vodka cocktail is not going to be about the actual spirit, is it? It's going to be about how you actually interpreted the flavors that you may pick up on nosing a product that is colorless, odorless, and tasteless. Exactly, I agree. So it's maybe vodka is the exception to the rule when it comes to that. At the end of the day, I've judged one vodka competition, and I was and unfortunately they didn't tell them I was going to be a judge. So that was probably the only time they could do their research. But they actually said, it paid the bill that day. I was about to take your photo. I'm going to wear that. So what they did is, it was 42 below, UK finals. They said we have a mystery judge. And what they did, they handcuffed me and they put me in a straitjacket and brought me in like Hannibal Lecter. Because they were trying to say we kidnapped Ian to judge this competition because it was a vodka competition. And I said, listen, you guys are making cocktails, so I'm drinking a cocktail with vodka in it. The vodka is not going to be the showcase, but it's going to be the flavors, the stuff that you created inside the drink. So I'm going to be happy with a good tasting drink. And I was drinking shots of Bacardi 8 as well at the same time because it was a Bacardi competition. So I mean, it's a Bacardi company competition. But vodka, it's a bit different with vodka. Trying to showcase that unless you're doing a vodka martini of some sort. But then it's still going to be more of the vermouths you're using, or if you're doing Vespa styles of drinks, and it's the gin you've added to that as well, and as well. So yeah, it all depends.
It seems flavors and modifiers because all spirits are basically tasteless that you add taste to through different processes. To barrel, it's all flavors. So it's a blank slate. There's a reason why we have cocktail bars, not mocktail bars. So highlighting vodka.
So remember, this product here that we're drinking, Rain Nephew, has got nothing added to it. This is all from the pot still. So all that flavor there is that's actually the distillation of the wine, of the wash. Yeah, that's so. But yeah, with vodka, of course. And if but again, thank you again for. I'm around all weekend, so it's great.